exercise is now turning into a showdown, with security meting out violence. There are quite a number of contradictions that are notable. The spokesperson for the UPDF and the Ministry of Defense, General Kulaije, has come out to disown the men in uniform who were brutalizing supporters of the National Unity Platform. The head of the Electoral Commission, Justice Byabakama, says they are in charge and they will ensure that come Thursday next week, the 13th of March 2025, there will become, the exercise will be free, fair, and devoid of any kind of violence. Can we take his word? Who is in charge? Apparently, the Minister of State for Internal Affairs was in Parliament, on the floor of Parliament, and still gave assurance that they will be on top of the situation. But in the midst of the tensions that are mounting, what does Kawempe speak to electoral democracy? Besides, could this be a precursor to yet a more chaotic 2026? Good evening. My name is Simon Kagwanjala, and joining me in the studio is Honorable Dr. Miriam Matembe, a very seasoned politician and an activist. Good to have you, and a very good evening.
Activist on what? I'm an advocate for human rights.
Yes, you are an activist for rights.
No, I'm not an activist.
Oh,
I am advocate,
nice to see you,
promoter of human rights, okay? So you introduce me properly. I'm happy to be here this evening, and I thank you listeners for being there to listen to us.
Well, Honorable Paul Mwiru joins us as well from the NUP camp, a former legislator, currently, I think, warming up again for another round, right? Yes. In Jinja.
Yes, please.
Nice to have you, and a very good evening. If you could say hi to
Thank you. Good evening, viewers and listeners. Thank you.
Well, Honorable Theodore Sechikubo from Magogola in Zimbabwe, good to have you, and a very good evening.
Remiyaga,
pardon me, Remiyaga.
Thank you, Kagwa, and good evening, dear viewers.
Honorable Matembe, we'll also be engaging Captain Edward Francis Babu virtually, a seasoned legislator and a member of the NRM, National Resistance Movement. Good to have you, Captain Edward Francis Babu, and if I could start with you, what are you making out of the entire fracas that has come to define Kawempe North campaigns ahead of elections?
Well, thank you very much. Let me start by greeting you in this Lent season and this Ramadan. With the Muslims, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. With the Christians, Yesu asifiwe, Jesus Christ be praised. It's a very nice season. It's a season when we're supposed to look at the way we behave, our manners, and I hope this will remove that word you've just used, the fracas. And because we're in the Lent and we are fasting for Ramadan, we hope people will now realize that we have to behave in a better way. And we by next Thursday, on the 13th, we go to the polls, and the people of Kawempe North, we pray for them so that they can choose a candidate of their choice. That's my view. I think we are in Lent, and we should try and help these people to try and behave well, whether they are on the government secrecy. Let's take the opportunity of this fasting to behave ourselves so that our brothers and sisters can have an opportunity to elect a person of their choice.
If you were to do a diagnosis of what is causing all the current tensions in Kawempe North, where would you start from? And with whom does the buck stop?
A buck stops with all of us. Our behaviors are not good. We are not behaving very well. I think everybody in this country has to stop for a moment and look at the way they behave, the way they talk, the kind of rhetoric, the kind of lies, the kind of propaganda. We've got now to get our country to a different level. Let our people understand that they have the power and they have to choose us leaders who will take us to another notch and get away from this kind of behavior. If there are people within government who are misbehaving by using some of our people to do that, they should also stop. We are now talking about Uganda, and Kawempe North is part of Uganda, and therefore the people of Kawempe North deserve to be able to sit down and look at the people who have come, who have offered themselves, and make a good choice for themselves. I think that's where we should all be going, and we should discourage, whether be it whoever it is. We don't want that kind of mess. We want our people to be given a chance to have a good election.
Well, if I could hold you there and engage Honorable Miriam Atembe, when you look at the violence and the kind of brutality that is being meted onto the voters in the constituency, what comes on your mind, still coupled with the assurance from the Electoral Commission that they are in charge?
You know, it's because God gave me this mouth to come and talk, and you disturb by inviting me, and then I come. But really, otherwise, what do I make of this? Am I surprised? Is there any Ugandan surprised that what is happening in Kawempe is happening?
I thought you would be.
If you are surprised, go and hang. Unless, because you don't know what has been going on in this country. Me, what I want to say, I was not surprised. And as for Electoral Commission, if I were that man, I would just keep quiet and just sit in my office and do what I can do, what I'm commanded to do, and do it the way I do it. And as for Koraje, surely all Ugandans here, do those assurance or those words make any meaning to us? Do they? You don't. You action. You don't.
The UPDF has distanced
itself. It is
itself.
the action which matters. You are telling me the UPDF has distanced it himself. Those people who were covering all their mouths and everything, hiding themselves, who were they? And if why didn't police arrest them? What is that? Anyway, what I want to say is that it is so unfortunate that elections, whose role is to really help Ugandans to choose the leaders who should govern them, in Uganda here, they are about fight, war and fighting. Elections which are supposed to choose leaders, they become a die, as if it is about life and death. Elections, turning elections into life and death matter should be a very big shame to this country, to this government of Uganda. It should be a very big shame for people like us who come from very far, in those dictators who tortured us, those who were. And President Museveni came with all to redeem Uganda from that kind of suffering and torture. To see that for his government, it is doing it much beyond, without shame. Let me tell you, Idi Amin used to, in the night or somehow, people would disappear and would never be traumatized, would keep hoping maybe our people are there. But in this government, they just get you, they beat, they kill, they openly with no shame. Therefore, for me, I'm not surprised. This is what I expected. I was here last, the other front line. I told them that, to me, what is happening in Kawempe, it is a precursor. It is telling people, you see, this is just a small constituency. One constituency like this, they are telling us, people, wake up and see and prepare to maybe to hide yourself, I don't know where, or how to leave this country for safety. but prepare.
As someone who was once at the helm of the election observer group, SEDU, do you think things are moving from bad to worse?
Hey,
Oh, this is a constant.
The fact that they closed us and shut us down. Don't you remember they closed SEDU and shut us down because we were observing these things, we were participating in the whole country. They did it that time, last 2020 what elections? The last
2021.
election. 2021 elections, when we observed all these things, they refused to give us observation. And because SEDU's people are all over the place, they don't need to get letters. They were there at all polling stations and everywhere. So they told us, and we wrote a report. And the Electoral Commission himself, you see him, he's the one, he's the very one who wrote to NGO Bureau and said, you close these people. They observed elections without our support. But having said that, let me tell you what it means in Kawempe. The NRM is determined at whatever cost to take that seat. And I understand. And me, because when they go to their caucus, they talk and talk and talk. And then some people also come and tell us. I understand one of the biggest women in the governance of Uganda, this top level government, that one of those biggest ladies said they will do anything they can, even if it means killing people, to take Kawempe City. And I'm saying it preempt them, so that when they do it, we shall confirm that indeed that's what they are planning.
Well, Honorable Mwiru, thank you very much, Honorable Matembe. Honorable Mwiru, there's been a lot of condemnation, there's been a lot of discussion around the violence in Kawempe ahead of the by-election. What remains unanswered in your opinion?
Well, thank you, Simon. I think I want to lay bare the situation as it obtains today, that the Electoral Commission, fulfilling the constitutional obligation, announced an electoral process, to which we responded by nominating a candidate, my brother, the council areas Alokokedde, and we planned for his nomination. Of course, the expectation was that we have a right to participate like any other Ugandan in what is supposed to be a free and fair election. Of course, a number of issues happened on the voting day. Security, the JAT team, which is being disowned by now government, arrested the chief agent with some nomination forms.
Nomination forms, yes.
But nonetheless, we had to obtain other nomination papers, and our candidate was nominated. It was brutalized. All these issues actually were raised. But as we talk today, our colleagues are in prison, 2 MPs, Derek Nyeko and other members. As a result, when the JAT attacked our office, when our party president was heading to the rally. What is obtaining today, after the brutality we saw, we wrote to the Electoral Commission. We thought we needed to have an engagement. Not that we knew they were going to solve a number of things, but we thought that even under any circumstances, because Justice Vyamukama, as a justice of Court of Appeal, and all people who are in the commission, and among other commissioners, we had to have a discussion on the bare minimum. And we say, even when actually you're looking for survival, there are certain things which you cannot overlook. For instance, we started by the voter register. We had a meeting today. I had the benefit of, had an opportunity of being part of the meeting. We pointed out the flaws in the update and told them that when we looked at the voter registers of them, it was 164,000 voters. During this update, they have, I want to say, inflated the register by 35,000 voters at a polling station. bring the total number of voters at each polling station, averagely, at 1,011. We asked them that, okay, because for me I've been at this game, I told them I've looked at all the polling station in the western part of the country. If you took an example of Chiruhura, averagely, a polling station has 432 voters at a polling station. How come that here in Uganda, averagely, a polling station has got 1,000 and above voters? We took them to, Electoral Commission did a survey in Chikandwa Police School before they would adjust the time from 5 to 4. And they came to a conclusion that each voter to vote at a polling station, you need a minimum of 2 minutes, which is 60 seconds. So we told them that, okay, you divide the 9 hours you have in a day, which is 540 minutes, divided them by 1,011 voters average at a polling station. You would have 53 seconds to vote without any interruption. Is that possible? You say this is part of the voter rigging. Because in some places where they have interest, they are splitting these policies to ensure that a police should not have more than 500 voters at a polling station. We raised that matter. We put it to them that this is the first issue which need to be addressed. Because it is not possible that at a polling station, one would vote within 53 seconds.
Okay, what was the assurance from the Electoral Commission?
Of course, the commissioner in charge of Buganda, Dr. Simba, of course we're dealing with the figures. He said he's going to also study the matter and then see what they are going to come up with. Of course, we knew few minutes to the voting, few days to the voting process.
How about the sticky subject of violence?
Well, this one is also important, but I'm coming to the issue of violence. On the issue of violence, we raised the matter to them and said one thing is for sure that we have not had any crash, any engagement with any RM who would be our main contender. They have not attacked people, neither have we attacked their people. So there's no complaint from the NRM side. You understand? Then we're asking the commission, then who deploys these JAT people? Because you would be, as the Electoral Commission, under your mandate, inviting security on a complaint. You understand? There's no complaint of violence from the players, the stakeholders, amongst the candidate. The NRM group has not attacked us, neither have we attacked them. There is even no single report at any polling station in Kawempe that actually we attacked their supporters or they attacked us.
Right.
So where do you get the impetus to deploy JAT? They say that you see, they also see those people deployed, and to them, that the deployment of security is not their mandate. Theirs is to conduct an election.
But security has also disowned the hooligans or the men in uniform who beat up supporters.
Well, you see, I had the benefit of telling we had the benefit of telling the commissioners that, you see, we have subjected ourselves to this process because we believe the Electoral Commission announced the process and we are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that we participate in the process. Should they want also to close that space, it's purely up to them. That's why the issue arose on the last day of campaign. They had told us that we cannot campaign in Kawempe because President Museveni is going to be in Kawempe. But we told them we have a program which was clearly showing where the NRM candidate will be and where our candidate will be. They said, no, you must accept that the president, other than the chairman of NRM, is also a president. But we told them, no, this by-election in Kawempe is about candidates. On either side, there are principles. If we are far apart in terms of where we are supposed to be, we have no business going to decide where NRM is.
Do you get a sense that the Electoral Commission, as a referee, is in charge of this election?
Well, from the assurances they were trying to give us, because why we went to meet them, we are telling them that, you see, at the end of the day, we have a duty to this country. You understand? Whereas we know you have a duty to the appointing authority, some of us who have a duty which we owe to the future generation of this country. that this process goes on is free and fair. And of course, out of this discussion, we knew that at a particular point in time, the Electoral Commission is going to surrender this process to security apparatus when they want to come.
Have they already?
Because you see, we have been in all these by-elections. We have seen the military attacking the polling station and marking ballot papers and stuffing them. We have been with those commissioners. So we wanted an assurance that this is going to be an election where it's going to be free and fair with no interference from the security apparatus. And they said they cannot guarantee on that. That theirs is about conducting a process. About security, we should look at the security organizations. And
so does this mean that you on your own?
And actually, we are, because we are now on fine, and that's why we are making a call to all our voters in Kawempe that after voting, don't leave the polling station, because we know we have intelligence. They intend to come and attack polling stations and mark all those ballot papers. So, but also this is also goes to the commission and those who intend to come and then disrupt the process. That we are people power, we are mobilized, and we are calling upon the population. After voting, please, in this, just sacrifice this one day.
Honorable Sechikubo, how do you unpack the violence, the contradictions, and the statements that are coming out during this time as the mood heats up towards elections?
Thank you. Listening to colleagues here and also observing what has been happening in the ongoing by-election campaigns for Kawempe North constituency, I think to sum it up, this is a sad commentary of the democratization process initiated and put in place by the NRM government, which I belong. You see, when you see what is happening right now in a single constituency, Kawempe North, tarnishes the very image, tarnishes the reputation of the NRM, and I don't know who is the beneficiary of all this.
Yeah, but the NRM has also come out to condemn. No. You've had statements from the Secretariat.
Yes, but at the end of the day, we, the NRM, we are the ones in charge of this country. So there is no doubt about that. And it is the NRM that superintends over all the institutions in this country and all the security organs of this country. So I think the earlier we go to grips with this problem, the better for this country. You can't say JAT which is well known and defined, save that this time they are hooded, they are hiding their faces, and they are brutalizing Ugandans. Now the question arises, who deployed this JAT?
Everyone is disowning.
No, it is easy to find out. It is easy to find out. And the other day, the Right Honourable Speaker directed government to investigate and inform the country about the occurrence of this hooded team of JAT that are brutalizing Ugandans. It is easy to find out because, first of all, we know where they were deployed, and now the chain goes back. Who deployed them there? Who was in command? Who was in charge? And then we can start from that. But also most surprising and disheartening is we thought when it occurred on the day of nomination, it would end. We thought there was some maybe misplacement, misunderstanding. We thought it would stop there and then, particularly when there was this public outcry. But the fact that it has persisted, it shows that it is deliberate. And to me and the party I belong to, I believe this can't be.
No, but I want us to examine the statements. One,
Yep.
the spokesperson of the UPDF has disowned the men in
Me,
you.
Kagwanjara, I want to interrupt you. We don't come here to discuss nonsense. Because for sure, do we have a government or we are not?
I thought
and
we
is
did.
this government serious with security? If they can follow somebody who has done nothing, if they can arrest somebody who has a red bag, red hat, eh? Now these are goons or brutal people holding guns. They even that man, I don't know whether he still has his eye.
The journalist.
Yes, and we saw them there, and then you come. The government spokesperson has denounced it. Simanyi police has denounced it. Simanyi what? Those fellows who denounce like that, I feel sorry for them. Because you cannot be used like that to say nonsense to Ugandans as if we are fools. Me, the thing that disturbs me, people think that Ugandans are fools, that you can just say anything and they don't know. I can't understand this kind of thing.
I want to take it back. I want to take the ball back to Honorable Sechikubo. Do you see accountability on the part of the government players? The Minister of Internal Affairs has come out to regret the incidents. The Electoral Commission comes out to say we are rectifying everything to ensure a smooth election, while the NRM party is very bitter that all this is happening.
Imagine.
No, the NRM party, the party to which I belong, I think the bitterness arises out of the fact that far from delivering votes to the NRM, this erases even the small votes that they were to be. Looking at it from all angles, it is not helpful. First of all, you are brutalizing Ugandans, but also the inroads that NRM was hoping to make in Kawempe North fails. And I pity my sister, the NRM flag bearer, Nambi, because this is not the way to do it. And look at it this way. We thought that this would be an opportunity for the NRM to show the good side, to probably relate with the people. I saw the NRM candidate trying to go to the ghettos, trying to reach the slums, but what you are doing there is
can you denounce violence when Zimbabwe has been...
Of course I knew you were coming to that, but can we first dissect this issue?
Zimbabwe is a hotspot of violence in literally every election.
All right, but does two wrongs make a right? Kagwa, we want to justify this. Let's handle this. After all, this is only one by-election.
But you can't treat this in isolation.
No.
To the incidents that have been building up.
What we are looking at is that, of course, this could be a microcosm of what is likely to happen in the general election. But I think the area we found solutions to this, the area all the stakeholders came out to denounce, not only denouncing, but put in place measures to stop this. This is unacceptable. It is unacceptable in the democratic world, in the civilized world, and now in Uganda, where for 40 years, NRM has been preaching exactly against that. I think it's
I want to correct the record.
Yes.
I have been since informed that General Kulaije came out and said this was a team to reinforce, that was being requested by police to reinforce security to avoid chaos.
But you see,
But who was causing chaos?
But you see, Kagwa, we've had the Minister for Internal Affairs and has said clearly that he's not aware. He has no knowledge about this. So, with due respect to Honorable General Kulaije, some Ugandans deserve respect. We deserve that understanding. We deserve our right to life, our right to participate in a democratic process, which is enshrined in our constitution. Now, for him to just talk like that is very unfortunate, because we've been participating in an election. It is only the police that can request for the reinforcement. But who deployed them? And this is what I've asked. Who deployed the JAT? JAT are specialized agency, security agency or organ that is there to confront terrorists. That is it. And if at all there was chaos or whatever was in Kawempe, police would easily have deployed the anti-riot The Antrite will be there to disperse with tear gas, etc., as it may seem deem necessary. But for you to deploy the JAT, the Joint Anti-Terrorism Force, is basically out to meet and confront terrorists and terrorism. But well, as it turns out,
I would like to bring in Captain Edward Francis Babu.
Yes.
Back in the day, we had militia, we had supporters whom you describe as militias, Kakoza Mutale groups and several others. But this time, it is JAT in charge. Is there anything that we really need to examine about the trajectory of electoral democracy in Uganda?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think what we need to do, and this is very serious, let us have a conversation of knowledgeable information. We have a National Security Committee on which the chairman is the president of this country. We have a Minister of Security in this country, and therefore he should be able to tell us about the security in this country. They sit down and decide on how to go around the security of this country. JAT is a joint anti-terrorism task force. For it to be deployed, that committee I've just talked about, the National Security Committee, should know. Therefore, the Minister of Security should be kind enough to explain to us why JAT was deployed. Secondly, we should also request the Electoral Commission not to wave away their responsibility of working with the security to deploy people in areas where they are going to have activities. Therefore, instead of us being unfair to even the JAT, even the police, we want the leaders of this country who are in charge of security, one of them to come out and explain to us why JAT was, for example, deployed. Did they expect subversion? Did they expect terrorism? They should tell us. That's one point. The other point that I wanted to be, I'm not sad that we are having this, because this is showing us how far we've gone in our democratic process, which seems to be going downhill instead of going uphill. So what do we do to stop it going downhill? And I don't want us to be do or die. No. Can we find a solution to these problems? I think time has come. Everything that is happening should be a challenge to us for us to find a solution. And Parliament seems to be going the right way. I'd like to thank the Speaker who asked the Minister to come and explain. And these people, for example, I don't blame any officer who says he has no clue, because this is, JAT would be deployed by a higher authority. I'm sure the security clearance is higher. So, who is tarnishing whose name? Is it the security tarnishing the names of government? Is it some of us who are standing for elections who are tarnishing the name of our people? So we've got to also find out exactly what is going, because there are a number of forces when it comes to campaign. Everybody has got their approach to these elections. Others are, in fact, one of them who amazed me is the one who went to wash people's clothes. He was taking the dustbin out, and for him, he says he's going to live with the people because those are the people who are going to give him the vote. The other one was moving from one place to another, saying that he's talking about PDM and so on and so forth. The other one says he's going to make sure the president is removed by 2026. So it depends on your approach to this thing. So those are your campaign strategies. But we who are on this television, which is a national television, how do we help the people of Kawempe to have a peaceful election by asking the minister, first of all, to come out and give us guarantees that this, whatever happened, will not happen again. And why did it happen? Did they have any reason for what happened? Can they explain? And I think we need that explanation. And we need also the police to stop saying we are not part of this. This is a joint task force. It's all security organs. So I want those who are dramatizing this whole thing, because there's a lot of drama now, and there are others who are also using it as propaganda. The other day somebody told us a lady had died, and then they told us, no, he did not die. Those kind of things we don't want to hear, because you can see it's being used to create sympathy for certain people. What we want now is, does brutality should be talked about, and we should find out the reason why it happened. And it should not happen again. The other one is that we cannot give up because 2026 is coming and therefore we become a prophet of doom. This will happen again. No, we should not allow it to happen.
If I could interrupt you here, your party, the NRM, is also complaining, is disgruntled by the state of affairs. Do you imagine they're being honest? They're saying that security is giving the opposition an edge in the forthcoming election. What's your take?
No. Whatever, listen, I don't want you to waste your time with the narratives. People, people are talking. All sorts of gossip is going on. We want reality now. We want somebody to come out. For example, you're talking about JAT. Why was it deployed? That's number one. Number two, why that kind of behavior? Number three, why excessive force? Number four, why tell us lies that somebody has died when he has not died? Those kind of things we want to know. And the people of Kawempe North can only be helped by making sure we stop this kind of behavior from all sides. And if it is NRM, that is, which I have not seen yet, they should also go and review if they are behind some of this. And if it is government, they should also look at the excesses. So as far as I'm concerned, well, I know what has happened is not very good in some cases. I know some people have been hurt. What we should do between now and the 13th, when we are going to have elections, can we try and help the people of Kawempe so that they can listen to all these people who are standing and they make a choice of a candidate of their choice. And they can do so. And government can make sure they do so. And the Electoral Commission can do so.
Thank you.
So as far as I'm concerned, it can be done.
Thank you very much, Captain Edward Francis. Honorable Matembe, why are you upset by the comments of Honorable Babu?
You also shut up, because if I'm here listening and hearing what is
all the while you look
what is
so,
going on, why do you
triggered.
say, why am I upset? I mean, I don't know. I use words which at times people don't like. I'm seated here with people who are diplomatic, but me, I speak from my heart. I mean, we cannot discuss in that kind of way. Because what don't we know about what the government does to noob people, especially? What don't we know? Before even they went for nomination and so on, don't you know very well that the government went into Nupu's house, their head office, their home, and they did all that they did. When they were doing all that, what had Nup done? Then they also went and arrested some people. Didn't they? I saw this Minister for National Guidance or Information, Baryomus. He was there saying, no, these people are not abducted. We arrested them because we had them saying that they will get panga and cut people. So they arrested them, okay? And I don't know whether they have ever got them out. But now I see the president's son, the army commander, saying that anybody who puts on UP uniform, we shall kill them. I mean, these are tweets, you see them and you see things talked like that. When you call me here, do you expect me to debate as if covering all these things which we see with our open eyes? And we see that Kampala I mean, NRIM is so determined and dying to capture seats of
Okay,
no.
what's significant
seats
now
of-
is that the Minister of Internal Affairs...
I don't talk to me.
No,
don't ask
no,
me
there is a
such
statement
questions.
from the Minister of Internal Affairs.
And so what?
Yes.
What is the statement?
He's an accomplished officer.
What? Okay, what is he saying?
He's saying the government intends to ensure a clean, transparent, and safe by-election in Kawempe North constituency.
Okay,
this is
those are words.
Honorable Muhoozi David.
Those are words. Those are words. But actions are showing difference. Now, let me tell you, Kagwanjara. You know, we have this funny thing. When you see children playing hide and seek, or when a young child puts her hands or his hands on his face, he thinks that since he's not seeing, other people are not seeing her or him. Now, that's how these people treat us. They think that for us, because for them in their mind, I don't know where their blood or whatever, like these little children who hide and they think they cannot see them. But for us, whatever they say for us, we are seeing. We are not like babies. We are not like ignorant. Now, these ministers, the police, is it government spokesperson or army spokesperson? They have to play their role. They are doing their work. So they've got to come and shout there. They will just come and talk to show that they are doing their work. But if talk is not connected to action, and you call me here and you read, the minister said this, the spokesperson said this, I want to ask, is there a government in this country?